Hi, this is Purnima Devi from SNSCT. In this last class, we discussed about the connections, what are all the connections we are used, that is multi-point, point-to-point connections, which is used to connect the devices, and the topologies, what are all the network topologies we used to connect to the devices. And now we discussed about the functions of different layers. In this last class we see about the OSA layers, that are the 7 layers we used to transfer the data from sender to receiver. And in this video we discuss about the functions of functions, what are all the functions of these layers. So first layer is the physical layer. The function of physical layer is which is used to activate, maintain and deactivate the physical connections. So this physical layer only directly connected to this receiver. So it define the voltage and the data rates which is used for transmission, and it convert the digital bits into electrical signals. So because this is a layer which is connected directly to the receiver, and the transmission, it is decide whether the transmission is simplex or half duplex or full duplex. So these are all is done by the physical layer, and it is does not detect or correct error. It will only transmit the information to the receiver from the sender, but it cannot it will not detect any error during this transmission time, and it also decide the medium and modulations. So the next one is a data link layer. The data link layer, it should be synchronized and error control for the informations though. So this is a synchronous error control mechanism which is used in these layers. So it enable the error detection, and it adds the error detection bits to that is extra bit to the original data, and it encoded the data are passed to the physical layer. So these are error detection bits are used by the data link layer on the side to detect and correct the errors which will be transmitted to the particular device. So on this level the messages are assembled into the frames. So the system waits for the acknowledgement to the received after every frame is transmitted. So it will transmit the data only only receiving the acknowledgement from the particular receiver. So the next one is a network layers. So the function of network layer is used to route the signals through the various channel to the other end. It acts as a network controller by deciding which route can be we should take to receive the particular device. So it will also divide the outgoing messages into packets. So the physical layer which is used to the data as a bits, and the data link layer which is used to the data as a frame, and the network layer is used to transmit divide the data into packets. So the next one is a transport layer. So it decide if the transmission should take place on the parallel path or a single path. So the network layer only decided the path between the sender and receiver, and it also use the multiplexing and segmentation of the data. So the transport layer guarantee the transmission from one end to another. So this only give the guarantees for the transmission, and it break the data group into a smaller units. So the next one is a session layer. It will also manages and synchronize the conversation between the two different applications. So this is the level at which the layer will establish the system connection. So it also control the logging on user identification, billing and session management. So the next one is the presentation layers. So the presentation layer makes sure the transmission information is delivered in such a system receiving will understand and use it. Thus a form and the syntax of the two communicating system can be different. So system using ASCII code or file transfer and other IBM's EBEDCs. So these conditions of the presentation provide the translation of ASCII to EBC DIC. So the next one is the application layer. So the application layer is the topmost layer and it will manipulation of information various ways, and transferring the files, transmitting the transmission of files and distributing the result to the user who is sitting above these layers. So these functions such as login or password checking also permitted by the application layers. So these are all the layers which we are used in this computer network. So first one is physical layer, and the second one is data link, and the network layer, transport, session, presentation, application. So while transmitting the data, the sender has to travel all these 7 layers, and also the receiver has to while receiving the data, they transmit all the 7 layers during this